What's the word? Yeah, I said. I'm back, man. I had to do something to get my energy up. You know what I'm saying? The motivation seems low today, but you just gotta do the shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it. It's just my third take. Quite possible, but we not going. I thought this was gonna be a fourth one, or there was gonna be a fourth one. Positively, absolutely. But I liked it, so we're gonna keep it, maybe. Anyway, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. I'm Zay. Welcome back to Zay Bandos. Let's rap episode 8, 9. I think one of those two. I believe this is episode 8, if I'm not mistaken. But welcome. Please like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Share it to your mama, your aunties, your uncles, all that good stuff, shit, whatever. I appreciate the love and support. What we talking about today? It's Wednesday at the time of me recording this, so the weekend wasn't that far away. So weekend was pretty smooth. You know, happy late Easter, everyone who celebrated and enjoyed that weekend. Everyone looked good in them hot colors, in the blues and pinks and yellows and all that shit. But everyone looked great. It was a good weekend. You know, for the other people that would celebrate Sunday 420, you know, motherfuckers was hiding a bitch, me included. You know, I'm included. But it was a good time. Some of my homeboys came over, we just kicked it, you know what I'm saying, enjoyed the Sunday, you know, celebration type shit. But, you know, I'm a bit of a, wrestling fan, so WrestleMania was this weekend. Show was decent. I'm not gonna get into it too much here, unless y'all want me to, y'all let me know, but it was a decent show, decent WrestleMania, worth it. I enjoyed it. It was drinking beers, all that good shit, on some Stone Cold shit. Funny enough, there's a funny ass clip, even if you don't watch wrestling. So Stone Cold Steve Austin came down in a goddamn, what's that shit called? 4-wheeler? Came down the 4-wheeler, and he crashed into the motherfucking barrier. I think he hit somebody, like, when he crashed into the barrier, it cranked somebody, I don't know. I don't know the details on that situation. I seen it happen, and funny, when I was watching, I was like, it'd be hilarious if this nigga, cause he came down that bitch with some velocity. Like, I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna find a clip and put it on the screen. Bent the corner. You see the excitement in his eyes. You see, oh, he getting turned. Niggas is cheering. Woo! Stone Cold! You know what I'm saying? He do a lap around that bitch. Another lap around that bitch. I said, the second lap, I was like, and then that third lap, wow! And I'm gonna show y'all, but that shit was hilarious. What else this weekend? Some good playoff games. We're gonna get into that a little later. The first thing I want to transition to is probably the most popular topic right now. Very, 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 very hot. Cut that part. But moving forward, we're gonna go ahead and talk about something that's been taking over this entire weekend, this entire week. Press, reviews, all that, of course. The movie Sinners came out on April 18th, officially, at least, on April 18th. Directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. Fire fucking movie, dog. I mean, before even all the shenanigans started before you even got to, it was just the essence of the plot, or not the plot, the essence of the setting. It was really the essence of the setting. You really felt like you was in the early 1930s in the South. It took place in Mississippi, so it definitely felt like you were in that. And I enjoyed the world building before getting in any of the true, I don't know if this is necessarily a spoiler, but when any of the vampire stuff started to introduce, because it was a good at least 20 to 30 minutes of just them coming back. So quick non-spoiler, Michael B. Jordan plays the twins in the movie, Smoke and Stack. They go by the Smokestack twins. And I'll call you back. Alright, so where are they though? So again, Michael B. plays the Smokehouse twins, the main characters of the movie. It's heavily centered around them and their return back to Mississippi from Chicago. They have a clear reputation of not only being twins, of course, but for some of the things they may have done in that past in Mississippi and things of that nature. So everyone knows them. They kind of showed that when they were building the character of him. There's a dope scene where he was interacting with one of the little girls in the town, having watched the truck he was driving, and that's where you kind of felt like, okay, everyone knows who this person is and who the twins are. So focus on them in their return, and they want to build a juke joint, which is essentially a club for black folk back then. Good music, blues, things of that nature, gambling, just a nice vibe, drinking, portion, bar, so that's kind of where basically the entire first act is just building resources and getting talent and people and advertisement for the juke joint, because they're going to open tonight, because they bought this old sawmill from this white man, and they're going to turn it into the juke joint. So then at the very beginning of the movie, we're introduced, because they do kind of like a flashback type of thing. So beginning of the movie, they open up with one of the ending scenes of their little cousin, Sammy, Preacher Boy, which he goes by in the movie. And talking about the thing with the devil in the flashback. So they showed him in the beginning because he's very important to the film as well. So they take us back to Sammy. They show us the conflict between him and his father. Father's a big pastor, of course. That's why he's called Preacher Boy. So there's that conflict in him. His father thinking he's playing music of the devil, sinner's music, and things of that nature. And he warns him because Smoke and Stack pick him up because they know he's a good musician and their little cousin. So they bring him along to go ahead and, so he can perform at the juke joint tonight. And his father warns him, like, that music you playing going to detract, so the devil's back home with you. Epic foreshadowing type shit. Epic foreshadowing. So that's kind of what the movie is, and they introduce us to some of the primary characters, the love interests. They've been gone for 7 years from Mississippi. So this is their first time coming back, and everybody knowing they back. So we're getting that, the world building, the introduction of some key players towards the movie. Definitely some all-stars. Can't remember everyone by name, of course, but definitely some all-stars. And definitely going to be some new stars as well. Again, Sammy, Preacher Boy, essentially is the main character as well, right next to Michael B as the twins. And that was his first gig for real. So he's going to be special in that regard. If he keeps it up, because he did fantastic, and his voice was crazy in that movie. So, but it's a really fire film. Once they get even before they get to when they open up the juke joint, it's a very music heavy movie. Not musical level, like they don't draw out the music scenes, but it is very music centric, and the themes between how music can connect to the other world, the other side, and not only bring the positive vibes, but attract other things, darkness, evil, as we see. So then they introduced the vampire element, and again, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but again, it was fantastic. I love the themes they played on, some classic vampire tropes as well. They really did a good job at building the suspense. Now, again, the way all the shit kicked off pissed me off. Fuck her, y'all. If you know, you know. Fuck her. But it was two kind of fucked. It was the one that first got in, and then it was the other one that it was the bitch on our side that fucked us up. But again, I highly recommend going to see it. It's a very great black film. You know, it's just enjoyable, even without just taking it being a black director and all that out of it. You can just take on just the shots, the cinematography of it, the pacing, the acting, all of that. It's cohesive. It feels natural. Nothing feels forced in the movie. Like everything feels, and it's a simple premise. Like we've seen this type of deal, this type of situation in a movie before, but it was different because it brought its own element to it. And again, with good direction and good writing and great acting and all of that meshed together, the plot doesn't have to be complex all the time. It was underlying elements in a very simple, not simple, but a very normal vampire-esque, zombie-esque monster. We gotta hold out. We were invaded, especially with vampires. We're invaded, they're trying to get us, we gotta hold out until the sun come up. That type of deal. But outside of the vampire shit, everything else, if you could add another element to that movie, and it still would have been a fantastic movie regardless. Like, unless it was just something stupid. But I feel like giving it that horror type of feel, that twist, is not a horror movie in my opinion. It has that elements, but it's more just like an intense thriller with vampires. It doesn't really have much. It's not that scary, it just gets intense, in my opinion. But I enjoyed it. They did their motherfucking thing with that. Go see it, please. I might go see it again. They said you need to see that IMAX or that. They would prefer you to see that. Excuse me. So as I left off, the movie was pretty intense for the most part. Not really too much of a scary type of deal. But I highly recommend y'all go see Sinners 100%. It's a fantastic film. So many hidden messages delivered. I want to say in a simple way, but in such a way you can digest it very easily. And I'm definitely going to go see it again. So 100% seeing Sinners one more time. Very good movie. So moving on, we got, what else we going to talk about here today? So there's a lot of bullshit going on. Before we get into the sports world, I guess we can talk about Ye loses his mind. And again, I'm not gonna get too much on it about the song he made with his cousin and all of that. Look it up yourself. I'm not talking about that. It's also, what I'm not about to discuss as well is fucking Shannon Sharp, Big Free. Actually, like, come on, like, if you didn't see it, Shannon Sharp's in the news again. Now, this is a whole bunch of shit. There's a rape situation. I guess she's saying that she raped him, or that he raped her. My apologies. And then Shannon's putting out text messages and damage control about basically just trying to get ahead of it, saying it's false and all of that. And I guess she's an OnlyFans girl, it's like 19 years old. Like, this is just, like, you too old for it. Like, I'm not, okay, like, leaving the rape out, like, if, of course, or the grape. Of course, that is sick as fuck, and I pray that isn't true, because, again, I mean, say what you want about Shannon Sharp, he's one of the leading forces of black sports commentators, so, I don't know if I'm going to tell you that, but, yeah, but whatever that situation is, if he did rape her, shit, throw the book at that nigga, but if it's untrue, and this is just a whole bunch of fluff and bullshit, Shannon, stop fucking with these younger women. Stop being such a freaky ass nigga. Sit your freaky old ass down somewhere. And stop getting into this weird ass bullshit. Like, you wasn't even doing, you didn't have, well, I mean, it was in the 2000s, so we wouldn't know, but like, goddamn, Shannon, I know this is the most lit you've ever been. You up top right now, but you gotta chill out, man. Real. Freaky ass nigga, bro. That nigga is such a freak, bro. Some of the messages I was getting sent that she was sending to him, and I know it's clearly he redacted some of his messages. I know that nigga was talking crazy. Bro, that shit is insane as fuck, bro. What else we got to talk about here today? Oh, before we get to, do I want to end with sports or do I want to just get into it now? We can end with sports. So I guess I want to say it was in LA, there was a jewel heist, and not no ordinary just like walk in, hey, get on the motherfucking ground, get on the ground, like none of that. You know what I'm saying? My neighbors probably heard me. But that was funny as fuck. But on some GTA, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, I want some spy shit. They cut a hole. They broke into the abandoned building next to the jewel store and cut like a hole. I'll put the article on the screen in a video if I could find one. But bruh, that's how you do it though. Like, if you gonna convince me to do that shit, robbery. It's not armed robbery, thank God. Well, they probably had guns on them in case shit went south when they were breaking into the shit. But if I'm gonna go down for that, we at least have to make a great effort. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a plan. You know what I'm saying? That's why takers always piss me off. Y'all remember takers with T.I., Paul Walker, Idris Elba, Chris Brown, the goddamn bank robber movie. Like, why'd y'all let this nigga convince y'all? This nigga why would you ever say, just real off on the tangent, why would you ever let a nigga who just got out of jail convince you to rob somewhere, to do a job? Y'all never do this. He just got out of jail. Tensions is high. Y'all never, when I say y'all never do this in that movie, they never took quick jobs. It was always like, we going, you know what I'm saying? We gonna plan, we gonna have everything. That's why they were so good at what they were doing. And then here comes this nigga, fucking T.I., face ass, king of the South, stupid ass hat, gonna walk in here and be like, yeah, I got a job, I'm trying to work, whoop the Russians, blah, blah, blah. And y'all believed him and everybody died. Like, so that just be pissing me off when I watch that movie. It's a good movie though. Anyways, so them motherfuckers broke into the goddamn jewel store like it's 1998. Like, that shit's hilarious. What else we got? There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Fuck it, we can get into sports. It's Thursday. Well, I started this video on Wednesday, and I'm finishing the recording today. That's why I put the same hoodie on, a little bag spin. But so the draft, that shit gonna be lit. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't know if I have to say I recorded the first half yesterday. Anyways, the draft is tonight. You know, and it's interesting. Like, number one is clear. This is sports. I don't care. We're getting into sports. I might actually break this video up. But anyway, so we're getting into sports here. Starting with the draft tonight. Cam Ward, number one, clear. The shenanigans will shenanigan, though. I believe it will. Shador definitely has a strong chance to slip now. Again, NFL draft is today. You know, everybody knows who Shador Sanders, I'm sure his son Deion Sanders is. he was projected. This is what's weird. That's why draft season is always like craziness, bro. This nigga was projected to go to number 2 all year. Well, he was projected to go number 1 at one point. And then Cam Ward had his breakout. And then it was like, okay, he's clearly going to be. Well, it was in Travis, too. Travis had a chance at number 1. But when Cam Ward went crazy, it was just like, that was that. You know what I'm saying? So it was Cam, and then Shador's going to be number 2. And then here come this defensive lineman from Penn State, Abdul Carter, out of nowhere. He could be number 1, or he could be number 2. Now Travis is stated to be number 2. So then if Shador doesn't go in a specific time, he can slip all the way down to someone who may need a quarterback. So if Shador slips, I mean, shit, we've seen it before, bro. Lamar slipped to 30. The Heisman winner, most electric player in the college football, slipped all the way to number 32. Or is it 30? I think it was 30, because then I didn't win Super Bowl there. All the way to 30. Insane work, bro. Incredibly insane work, bro. But the draft is going to be very interesting tonight. I can't wait to tune in for that. What else we got? NBA playoffs. It's fucking fantastic so far, for the most part. I mean, there's some blowouts, but there's some back and forths and all that good jazz. I think I gotta look. I believe the Rockets tied it up last night. I believe Pacers are up 2-0. And the Bucks, they might fuck around and sweep them, which I didn't see that on my bingo card. I was talking about the Bucks. Granted, I haven't watched a lot of basketball this year. You feel me? This has probably been one of my most lagging years when it comes to basketball. And I can't really even tell you all the way why. I think majority of the reason is because my team is kind of doo-doo. But that just being an excuse. So I think I just kind of fallen off basketball naturally over the past few years. I was heavy into it though. Like, I'm a Spurs fan again, so I was always repping Spurs, watching games, watching every single playoff game I could. So that's going from that. And again, it's also because my franchise is a little ass. So, but that's cool though. You know what I mean? Shout out to the goddamn, shout out to Spurs. Funny enough, I'm talking about the Spurs. This was not planned, I promise you. I remember I got this fucking practice, you know what I'm saying? I thought this shit was so hard when I got it, man. But that's pretty much it. I mean,